Hello producers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you my tricks to make your drop leads a bit more present, a bit more sitting top of the mix. Basically today we are gonna talk about how to make your drop leads or even the break leads, the solve leads, make more crisp, clear and present in the mix. And if you're ready, let's get into that tutorial. Okay, I'm working on some kind of drop idea right now. It sounds like this. Let me quickly play it without the leads. Yeah, it sounds like this, and I put a melody top of this. It sounds like this. Okay, let's say you have a drop idea and you just made the MIDI and you made the layers. But how to make it stand out in the mix? And today we're gonna mostly talk about the distortion and the saturation, like amplifying the signals. But before we get into that topic, we gotta make sure our layers are decent and like they are fitting well to each other. When you listen the layers right now, I have 4 different layers. As you can see, I have one main layer, which is this one. Like it's the most characteristic sound. And the second and the third one is just supporting that layer. They doesn't have any characteristic of their own. But like, if I just blend them with the first lead, it's like completing with each other. And my point is just work more and try different leads and get used to tweak the presets to make the leads, make the different presets sound well merged together. And after that, like try to think like this. You will have one exact main layer and then you are going to need some of the support layers and they should sound like a one sound. And the fourth sound is only giving the top end. It's a really harsh synth, like a really crisp synth that I can tell. And the other thing with it, I'm gonna use it like mono. When I push this button, my point is, if I have a mono sound, then you should find a sound which sounds almost same when you make it mono, so it doesn't make some crazy phasing issues. And then you just blend the mono lead with the original leads. Then your leads are gonna, even you push it with the stereo shaper, make it wide, it's not gonna sound bad because you have a mono lead, and in every system the mono lead is gonna sound exactly the same. That's why it's like the essential layering should be like this most of the cases in like this kind of leads. A main layer, support layers, and some lead that adds a top end or like gives some mono compatibility. That's the thing. And let's listen all of them. Okay, so when we get to the main topic of this video today, you are going to saturate the signal. The main thing to get standout leads, you have to saturate and distort the signal. If you are a big room producer, I'm 99% sure you are putting the Camel Crusher or Blood Overdrive or some distortion or saturation plugin like the top of the chain and like saturate the signal, right? And this is what we mostly do. And I'm gonna talk about why the distortion and saturation is that much important to make standout sounds. So Matt Nash just sent me his Niv plugin. This is not a sponsored video. He just sent me his Niv plugin and said if you like it, you can use it. And I'm really like this plugin. Now I start to use this plugin a lot because it's replacing Camel Crusher and OTT for me. I'm not gonna demonstrate the plugin because there are several videos already in the YouTube. I'm gonna just use it to make my leads a bit more crisp. And like if you understand the logic between this, you can do this with all plugins. But yeah, I really suggest this DST plugin from Matt Nash. So this thing, there are just three of different distortion modes, and there are gain, which is like the input signal, and we have a distortion knob, and like OTT like controls. It's like a multi-band distortion plugin. You have control for all 4 bands in your track, and you have an output button. That's all. It's really simple plugin. So just check how it's gonna affect the sound. So for it to make sense, we gotta understand what distortion plugins do. Okay, let me generate a sine wave in 3 times oscillator. You just see a curve, you know, just a one wave. But let's see what becoming after we put some distortion on it. I'm gonna go with the first preset. It's like low distortion, middle or hard distortion. It's like the stages of the hardness of the plugin. And all of them have some different characteristics. The first one, let's see what is doing to our signal. Yeah, we instantly see 2 different hills, which is the overtones, like the harmonics, make the signal resonance in upper octaves, like it's resonating the harmonics of that signal, and it's gonna make the signal more rich. There will be more waveforms in the spectrum. It's gonna fill more space in the mix, which means if you are using distortion or saturation or overdrive wisely, you don't need to volume up your synths. It's the key thing in here. You can make your signal more rich using these techniques, and you don't need to volume up everything, and it's gonna give you more headroom, more decent mix down. This is like the top stuff to do, but most of us just put any generic plugin and just go tweak with EQ, compress the signal a lot, like try to fit it in the mix. But if your signal is not rich enough, it's not gonna cutting through. And let's go to the second preset, what is making the sound. Yes, it's definitely adding a lot more additional harmonics. Like the third one, doing the same. It's like destroying the signal. So with this logic, we can do so much stuff. Yeah, also like in the plugin, you will see like presets and an EQ. Like you can adjust the bands. If you move it like this, now my low mid's only affecting this much area. It's working like this. And like you can EQ the signal. If I go like the second, and maybe I don't want any lows, I can just do it like this. Yeah, like you can use it as OTT. You can EQ the bands, you can color your signal. Okay, let's go back to leads. That much info is enough. I'm gonna go like solo this. Now it sounds like this. Obviously, it's not gonna sound good because we don't have anything. Okay, let's go working on the leads. I'm gonna put DST in the first chain. In my experience, I'm using this plugin for a week or now. And like the second one is like fitting really best to the leads, especially in the big room leads, like breakdown chords. They fit really nice. And let's just put it, and that's all. And also, yeah, we can check it from spam without the plugin. You can clearly see how it makes the signal so rich. It's adding also volume. It can trick your ear. If something is higher volume, the human brain is like tend to get it as like a better sounding, but it's always best to lower the output. So if you match the gains, you can clearly hear what the plugin does. it's definitely adding so much to the sound. And I'm gonna maybe just give a little bit more highs, because now I can just tweak all my signal and color it how I want it in the mix. And the best thing to do it, like do it with the track. I think it's fitting nice to the mix. The first thing I'm gonna do, just cut the lows like this area. And I can clearly see I can have more low mids in here. It's gonna add some body to the track. You can use an EQ like this, just boost. I think it makes a bit boxy, so I don't want to boost it from here. I'm gonna use Pluck Tech. I think there are plenty of free versions of the plugin doing exactly the same, so if you don't have waves, it's always good to check the free versions. I'm just boosting like the 100 Hz. It's gonna give like a bump in this area, and maybe I can make it a bit like this. So it's not gonna be narrow, it's gonna be a wide curve that I'm boosting. Yes, like coloring it with this kind of EQ give a bit more freedom to you, because in here it's too mechanical, but this kind of plugins like analog emulators can give some character, some color to the sound, which is kind of unique. Okay, let's turn on delay and reverb. Do you know of this delay reverb? I already have a tutorial about it, and I'm just gonna give some slightly delay and reverb. Yes, now I can clearly say it's like fitting to the mix down. Okay, let's go do the same with the Pluck leads. Most of the time we are having some Pluck sounds in big room drops. I'm just gonna copy this DST to here and like just listen it right now. Oh, sorry, I should put it to here. Let me delete this one. Like this thing is really making my job so easy, and it's distorting and coloring at the same time. Let me listen it in the track. It's just making a huge job, you know? And let me copy like this to cut the lows, because like every distortion plugin adding a low end, you always need to cut. Sounds nice. Let's put the delay and reverb. Have to make them a bit more present, a bit more stand out in the mix. This is the moment when you gotta check your stereo imaging settings. So there are plenty different versions of stereo imaging plugins, even free ones, even paid ones, and all of them making a different job. So make sure to check and try as many as you can, which one is the best for your case. So let's, for the leads, try this one. Even I'm gonna push it really much. And remember, it's gonna affect if you are putting it after delay or reverb or before. It's gonna give different results. Yes, now with the stereo imaging, leads are really white, and because we already have a mono layer, when I make the master mono, they still sound good. And for the plugs, I'm gonna try the FL Studio stock one. And let's put it this time before the delay and reverb. And yes guys, this is how I make my leads stand out in the mix. First thing, to have proper layers. The second thing is to saturate the signal and then color the signal and then make a proper stereo imaging. This is really dual. If I use it on the track, I will put so many ear candy like reverse sounds and reverb automations in the gaps, and also more background stuff in the drop, and you can make your track sound more complete, sound more full. But yes, this was my way to make my leads stand out in the mix. I hope you can apply this to your own productions too. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.